Today, I'm going to be showing off my comic book collection. Stick around. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ Links, and today I am going to be showing off my comic book collection. Now, when I say comic book collection, I'm only talking about 24 slab books. It's not the greatest collection in the world, but I am super proud of it. I've only been collecting slab books for about 2 years, so here we go. This is my box. It's in alphabetical order. I am going to start from the back because I think the better stuff is up front. So here we go. Up first, X-Men #1 from 1991, CGC Signature Series at a 9.8. This is one of my first slab books. I received it as a gift, and this is what sent me down the rabbit hole of buying CGC slab books. This is the special collector's edition of X-Men #1, and this book is signed by Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, Stan the Man Lee, and Scott Williams. So, X-Men #1 at a 9.8. Up next, and I got this book for super cheap. X-Factor #6 from 1986, first appearance of Apocalypse. So it's a key issue, first appearance of Apocalypse. When X-Men Age of Apocalypse, the movie was released and it bombed, this book plummeted in price. So I got this for dirt cheap. X-Men #6, first appearance of Apocalypse. Next, this is this is my only DC book. It's Watchmen #1, 1986 at a 9.6. First appearance of Rorschach, Ozymandias, Dr. Manhattan, Silk Spectre, and Night Owl. I'm not a big DC fan, but I love the Watchmen movie. I might be in the minority when saying it's one of the best comic book movies ever. I love that movie, the director's edition. And this is what made me buy this book. Next up, Uncanny XMen 221. Now, this is a relatively inexpensive key issue. This is the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. So Uncanny X-Men 221, first appearance of Mr. Sinister. This came out in '87. I think I got this for like $100 slabbed. So relatively inexpensive. Next, the Thanos Quest #1 from 1990 at a 9.8. There's nothing really special about this issue, other than the fact that he collects 3 of the Infinity Gems in the comic book universe. They're known as Infinity Gems in the MCU. They're known as Infinity Stones. This is one of those things where I just wanted to get it. It really has no overall value, like it's not a key issue or anything. It's just something that I wanted. Next up, Tales of Suspense #64 from 1965. Now, there isn't anything special about this issue. I was at New York Comic Con a few years back, and I wanted to leave with a Jack Kirby art. At that time, I didn't have any King Kirby art. So I saw this. I offered the guy, I think it was like $225. It had a $300 price sticker on it. I was like, I'll give it $225. He was like, give me $230 and it's yours. So that's what I did. Tales for Suspense #64. This is the one that started it all, as well as that X-Men #1. This is SpiderMan #1 from 1990, CGC Signature Series at a 9.8, signed by Todd McFarlane. This is one of my special books. I mean, I think when this book was released, they released a slew of copies, so it's not really that valuable. This is a Signature Series, signed by Todd McFarlane, so it has a little bit more value, but it just holds nostalgic value for me. This is one of my favorites. Spawn #1 CGC Series at a 9.8, signed by Todd McFarlane. There were millions of prints of this book back in the day, so you can find this book relatively cheap. I think this one I paid for it maybe $200 to $300, maybe $250 if I remember. But it was one of those books that I just needed to have. Again, harking back to my childhood, and the CGC Signature Series is just the cherry on top. Spawn #1. Savage She-Hulk #1, first appearance of She-Hulk from 1980. Now, this is the first book that I bought raw at a comic book store. Shout out to Royal Collectibles on Metropolitan in Queens. And they had it listed at a 9.2. So I purchased it, I believe, for $80. Sent it into CGC, it came back at 9.8. I was ecstatic. So I paid $85 for it, and I think it's going on eBay now for about $450. So like $400 to $450. I'm not getting rid of it though, so Savage She-Hulk #1. This book, Nova #1 from 1976, first appearance of Nova. It's an 8.5. I got it relatively cheap. I think I paid like maybe $400 if I'm not. I might be completely off there because I had bought. There was one week where I bought like 6 of these. So, key issue, first appearance of Nova. Nova. It's rumored that he's going to be making an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So what happens is these books, they're going to jump in value. New Mutants 98, first appearance of Deadpool at a 9.6. This book was really, really, really hot when the Deadpool movie came out. I made the mistake of buying it at the peak of its popularity, so I think I paid too much money for this book. Even at a 9.6, I think I paid too much money for this book. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #1 from 1984. Big team-up issue. All the superheroes go to this planet and XYZ. I think issue #8 is when you get the first appearance of the symbiote, where Spider-Man rips his suit and then the machine fixes it, but it's really the symbiote that eventually becomes Venom. I got this. I was at a small con, I think Big Apple Comic Con in New York, and I didn't want to leave empty-handed as it was right by the door as I was leaving, and I was just like, yeah, let me get that. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #1. Marvel Premiere 15 from 1974 at a 5.0. This is the first appearance of Iron Fist. I got this book for dirt cheap. When the Iron Fist series premiered on Netflix and bombed, this book plummeted. So even though it's at a 5.0, lower graded books tend to go for cheaper. Even the 7s, the 8s, the 9s were going for dirt cheap. That show sucked. Therefore, the value of this book dropped significantly. But it's still a key issue, so hopefully down the road, they bring him back and do him justice. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Shang-Chi. Here we go. Infinity War #1 from 1992 at a 9.8. CGC Signature Series. Signed by Al Milgrom and Jim Starlin. Jim Starlin, the creator of Thanos, and a bunch of other things, but Infinity War. This was one of my favorite books as a kid, mainly because of the fold-out covers, so it's like, there's 4 panels for the covers, like 2 in the back, 2 in the front, you fold them out, and it's awesome. And then just seeing everybody together, all my favorites in one book, it was awesome. So this is one of my favorite books, Infinity War #1. Infinity Gauntlet #4 of 1991 at a 9.8. Now there's really no value to this book. If you're gonna resell it, you're not gonna get $1 million. There isn't any major things that happen. It isn't a key issue, but the cover is fantastic. I mainly bought this because of the cover. Thanos is one of my favorite characters ever from any genre. I just love the guy. This is an awesome cover. Infinity Gauntlet #1, 9.8 CGC Signature Series, signed by George Perez. This is probably my second favorite book ever. This is when I first started buying comics, so again, it has a lot of nostalgic value for me. You can get, it's a hot book ever since Infinity War and Endgame came out, so this is a real hot book, but you can get it for relatively inexpensive. The Signature Series versions signed by Stan Lee are going astronomical, but this is just signed by George Perez, great artist, and this is one of my favorite books. Haha! Boom! Incredible Hulk 181. This is the first Grail book that I ever bought. This is a super popular comic. It's the first appearance of Wolverine. Came out in November '74. It's a super hot book. I went to a small con with the intention of getting a Grail, so I had my budget and everything, and I was able to purchase this as well as another one. This is one of my favorite books. It's at a 6.0, but I don't think it's a 6.0. If it were clean and pressed, it'll probably bump it up a little bit. But aside from a nick there, and then maybe it's discolored in the back, it's a great looking book. So, Incredible Hulk 181. Civil War #1, 9.8. Why I bought this Signature Series, signed by Stan Lee, right there on the white. This is a beautiful, beautiful Stan Lee signature. I needed to get this. Civil War #1. Avengers #684. This is probably the most modern book in my collection. At a 9.8. You want all your moderns to be a 9.8, especially if they're within the last couple of years. This one came out in 2018. The importance of this book is where the Hulk gains his immortal Hulk powers. So this book is really hot right now, but it's not expensive. You can get it for, I think I paid like $125 for this one shipped. So Avengers 684. Haha. Now this is definitely the cream of the crop of my collection. This is without a doubt the crown jewel. Avengers number 4 at an 8.5, off-white pages. First Silver Age appearance of Captain America. Avengers number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I received this as a gift from my beautiful wife, and I'm still speechless. I can't believe she got this. This is at an 8.5. It has an incredible value behind it, somewhere around the $5,000 mark. I believe, but you can check it up on eBay. I wouldn't sell this for the world. This is probably one of the greatest gifts I've ever received, and just a great overall book. It's a classic book. Definitely the crown jewel in my collection. How do you top Avengers number 4? It's all downhill from here, so if you want to click off, click off. Amazing Spider-Man 347. This is not a major key by any means necessary. This is my favorite book that I had as a child, as an 11-year-old. I remember this book, Venom and Spider-Man fighting all over an island, and it was just a great book. I think the violence in this book is what really captivated me. I know I'm a sicko, but this is definitely my favorite book. The cover is amazing. This is a 9.6 CGC series, and this is signed by Randy Emberlin, Eric Larson, and Stan the Man Lee. Stan the Man Lee, you got a signature right over Spidey's skull right there that Venom is holding. Nice nod to Hamlet, I believe. Another Amazing Spider-Man key. This is Amazing Spider-Man 300 from '88, first appearance of Venom. I got this at a con, decent price. I bought this one and the Incredible Hulk 181 together, so the guy really hooked me up. I really wanted this book. It is at a 9.6, not a 9.8, but it still holds great value, and it's just a great cover, an iconic cover, and it introduces one of the most iconic villains in the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery ever, Venom. Amazing Spider-Man 252 from '84. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man in the black costume. Actually, it says ties with Marvel Team Up 141 for the first appearance of the black costume. So, whatever. Nice homage to Amazing Fantasy 15 cover. And it's just one of those things, when the black costume is introduced, or if it's introduced in the MCU or any of the Sony films, this book is going to take off, as well as the Marvel Team Up one, I guess. So, Amazing Spider-Man 252. This is another grail piece that I've always wanted. Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of the Punisher. This is at a 5.0, but it looks fantastic. There's a few dings in the back. That's pretty much it. This is an amazing book, and one of the top 5 in my collection. I love this book. The colors, the cover, first appearance of the Punisher, iconic character. This is also a hot book, so if you could get it for a decent price, I suggest you pick it up. Hopefully the John Bernthal version of Punisher will be introduced into the MCU, and this book will get even more valuable. Punisher, Amazing Spider-Man 129. So I want to thank you for watching the video. I know it wasn't an enormous comic book collection, but I'm still proud of it, and I still hold every piece dear to my heart. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want. Leave a comment down below. Flame me, roast me, whatever you want. I don't care. Thank you for watching. On to the next. Peace.